What's up guys, Kevin Cage here, hope all is well. Excited to share that Unstoppable Domains is partnering with me to run an exclusive $300 crypto giveaway to my channel for the holidays. Remember, they're part of Ripple's PayString Open Payments Coalition of over 100 million users, so we're going to get into the spirit of giving and we're going to pick 3 winners to get $100 in XRP, $100 in Algorand, and $100 in VeChain. All you have to do is write a .crypto or .zil domain that you own in the comments below to qualify to win. An example of such would be something like this. So kevincage.crypto, hashtag maybe the crypto that you prefer. And also I highly recommend reading the giveaway rules in the video description. Without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, guys. So just on results, of course, we know globally, today, specifically, the modern global payment system sends more than $155 trillion across borders. Yet, the underlying infrastructure is dated and flawed. Ripple connects banks, payment providers, and digital asset exchanges via RippleNet to provide one frictionless experience. Now, of course, they've pivoted quite a long way. Of course, if you watch the old videos of 2014, 2015, hear their talks of just being really a decentralized global exchange. It's very interesting. And of course, we think $155 trillion is a lot cross-border, speaking. Well, so is the derivatives market, and so are, the market of securities that we are seeing built in front of our eyes. Derivatives, average 700 trillion, maybe as high as 1.2 or 1.4 quadrillion dollars. And most of it, even the analysts say, is highly intangible. So the sky is the limit for this asset class. In my previous video, we went over and showed that the global stock market's capitalization, which is all fairy dust, it is fake. It just hit over 100 trillion with a T dollars. So just fathom 10% of the cross-border market, 10% of the derivatives market, which is of $700 trillion in the market. That's absolutely insane to even fathom 10% of that. All right. So I'm going to take you back in time. So step into my time machine because I want to get into talking about Vocalink, MasterCard TransferWise, and then some additional developments that we've seen. First off, I am Legion, one of the greatest of all time researchers in the community, here just alluding to ACI worldwide. They are RippleNet's enabled. This is not some surprise. We've known this for quite some time. You can find it right on their website as well. For example, right here, they send over $14 trillion. You can see right here, you can see it on the website. I've shown it maybe 35 times on this channel to execute $14 trillion each day in payments and securities. So in addition, myriad organizations, a massive number of organizations, we can see power electronic payments for more than 5,100 orgs around the world, more than 1,000 of the largest financial institutions and intermediaries. And I think we understand what blockchain and DLT is going to do in reducing those middlemen, as well as thousands of global merchants that rely on ACI to execute 14 trillion per day. Following the 80-20 rule, Pareto's law, I think you guys understand how fast this can snowball, because we understand that Swift's organization is roughly maybe 11,000 today. And I know that figure is changing all the time. So yes, very powerful. Now, let me talk about Vocalink. And if we do recall, we know that MasterCard is involved and of course acquired Vocalink back in the day. So next up, and it's going to tie into my next point, we have ACI's UP, the Universal Payments Immediate Payments, helps TransferWise now. So another big player connect to faster payment schemes, but this is back in 2016. All right. And then we have Earthport, a huge hub and spoke model, of course, multi-currency. We talk about them because they are huge. We have Chris Larson, who essentially says Earthport, Visa, and Swift are some of the key targets for Ripple to help. And again, remedy the money around the globe. And who are the partners with Earthport? Well, we already knew Ripple is a longtime partner. We know Payoneer. I'm blanking on their connection specifically right now. We have Bank of America, which is RippleNet and one of the founding partners of the Global Payments Steering Group, aka what is now today called RippleNet. We have TransferWise, once again. We know their connection, of course, to ACI, as I've just shown, Zoom, and World Remit. All right, next, ACI Worldwide and now Vocalink are joining forces to speed up adoption of immediate, or UP, I said speed up adoption, UP adoption, the Universal Payments Immediate Payments around the world. Keeping an eye on this, guys, RTP globally, speeding up the adoption in the markets. Very exciting. So now, we talked about Vocalink, let's keep an eye on them as well. Recent news, guys, Roth economy. I know I touched on this in the last video, but it's going to tie into my next point. Singapore and Thailand will link national payment systems in 2021. This is big. So we have Prompt Pay and Pay Now. Huge as both have important Ripple connections, no surprise, but might limit Ripple use between the two. Something is happening here, but what? And remember Project Ubin, we talked about the Monetary Authority of Singapore, we talked about Temasek out of Singapore, and Accenture at the heart of everything. One of the early investors of Ripple, involved in the digital dollar project, involved in innovating or renovating the RTGS systems around the globe for central banks such as Bank of England, a paid Ripple partner. Do you guys see the connections here? There sure are a lot of coincidences. And if even 1% of these coincidences fall through, I am going to be a happy camper. All right, reminded Signum Bank also they listed XRP, who is working with SBI featured prominently in the last stage of Project Ubin. Interesting. And of course they have, Swiss regulation all good to go. And it seems like R3 more than Ripple, if anything. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. And of course we know Corda's relationship with all of this. And then Deloitte, one of the big four, and I'll talk about the other big four like Ernst & Young in one moment, helped implement Project Ubin and highlighted their cross-border payments application which integrated Ripple and Stellar. This is especially interesting given the SCBs, again this is the Siam Commercial Bank I believe, their recent connection to Lightnet, Stellar, and Ripple. XRP, again, all circumstantial. So love that, and again, this do not over-speculate, but we are just trying to connect the dots and obviously speculate correctly. All right? Prompt pay, linguistic. All right. And then also there was something I want to show you back here. So just a friendly reminder, guys, to understand how big this is with ACI, because I feel like a lot of people sleep on it. Remember, just a gentle reminder. We have DLT, for example, Ripple, EG, for example, Ripple, listed right here on ACI's website. And they say ACI supports around 9% of global SWIFT traffic and approximately 30% in the US. ACI offers services to banks around the world, wanting, to connect to and leverage SWIFT's GPI. Well, they still need actual settlements, which is important. So who are they utilizing? Because they already have Ripple named right here. All right. So right here, guys, Singapore, Thailand to link national payment systems. This is big, and I'm really rooting for them here because this is a big thing in a while. And notice, both national payment systems were built by, you guessed it, Vocalink, a subsidiary of card issuing giant MasterCard. So remember, just gently going back here, we understand Vocalink is largely connected to all of this with ACI, all right? And TransferWise, it goes on and on and on. So do not be surprised by any of this. So talked about them. We'll keep an eye on, Temasek, Thailand, obviously with the Siam Commercial Bank as well, rooting for them. But I'm telling you, Asia is just a hotbed for fintech, innovation, and it's happening sooner than later. And I think the US is going to catch up a lot faster than many of us think. At least that's my guess, but maybe it's biased. Also, Thailand is the second largest e-commerce market in Southeast Asia as per JP Morgan data, with cross-border spending making up 50% of the country's total e-commerce spending. This is reminding me of some other stats that we read about Brazil and their e-commerce spending, and also the number of mobile users. Remember, these fintechs, they're going to be banking the unbanked. If you guys watched my previous video, that huge talk, even on the OCC, allowing banks and fintechs to leverage each other, fintechs with their accessibility and versatility, and banks, again, for the custodial aspect of money and value. This is huge. All right. July 2020, total 55. Let's see, user base. So yeah, this is big money, guys. Pay now, 3 billion mark. This is still significant volume to keep an eye on. So do not sleep on this. All right. And if these two link their payment systems well, this is a big proof of concept for other countries to follow suit. So please understand the ramifications and the ripple effect, in quotes, of all of this. Next, so we have Microsoft, EY expand a blockchain platform for gaming rights to include payments. Guys, I'm sure you saw the funny news with Pornhub and removing some of the other type of information off their website and all that. And we already know that they do accept crypto, no surprise. But this is just a whole nother use case, guys. Gaming rights to include payments. And of course, we have one of the big four, Ernst & Young. So essentially, using a blockchain platform to allow Microsoft's Xbox gaming partners, artists, and content creators to track and manage payments and royalty contracts. Very exciting, guys. Blockchain will do this. Smart contracts are going to replace all of this altogether and get rid of all of these crazy intermediaries. All right. Next, Standard Chartered, as a longtime Ripple investor and Ripple partner, we have Stand Chart permitted to establish digital bank in Singapore. I swear, every single day we are getting a piece of news of Singapore or Japan, and we have to pay attention to this. I still have to get out there. Would love to go visit at some point. But right here, the new privileges pave the way for StanChart to set up a digital-only bank in Singapore, potentially joining the 4 digital banks that were recently awarded licenses by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Very exciting. Next up. Right here, guys, Anders L just sharing this little retweet of Stort XRP, and he's actually retweeting Central Bank Digital Currency webinar of Ripple, again, CBDCs, and interoperability, bridging the gap in innovation. So, essentially, even Anders L speculating here, so take it with a grain of salt, but I enjoy these thoughts. MoneyGram was just a mere test run when we were using XRP in millions of dollars for 1 year. In his eyes, it is just central banks, or showing central banks that the technology works. This is a game of chess, not checkers. And I completely agree with that sentiment. I think there's a bigger planet, planet play here. I think anyone who's done, 3-4 years of research and has a brain, they'd realize there's way more that is not being said. Jay Clayton, please. You've seen the discussions with Glenn Hutchins and what's his name? Something Cowan. I even saw a digital asset investor do a recent video on him. I'm blanking on his first name. But you guys have to understand the people and the caliber behind this ecosystem. To me, it screams just, like something is secretive. There's plenty of NDAs, which we already know. And that is why I am just accumulating and not selling my XRP. It is the one that shall not be named. So, XRP_Stewart. Now, right here, guys, this was shared by DJ Peter Voss. We have breaking news and another important milestone for RippleX submits its first project. So as we can see here, guys, on You Today, we can see the developers platform, formerly Spring, and now it's called, Xspring, pronounced Spring, is now RippleX. They submitted their first project to GitHub in the repository of the XRP Ledger Foundation. So remember, guys, if you guys follow XRP Ledger Foundation, they've also partnered with Energy Web Token for Sustainability, another crypto that I like. But keep in mind, this is early days. I do have high price targets, but not for quite some time for some alts that still have to hit the ground running. All right. So right here, just Java library with core functionality for interacting with the XRPL, and you guys can go to GitHub and actually see all of this right here. Next, Fidelity Digital Assets starts offering loans collateralized by Bitcoin this week in partnership with crypto lender BlockFi. If you guys remember last night, I was referencing at the very end of the video, CDPs, collateralized debt positions. This is happening. Right here, we have Abigail Johnson, chairman and CEO of Fidelity Investments. They're getting their feet wet. They have been for quite some time. Fidelity's been buying Bitcoin since 2015, but they're only going to put it on the news after they fill their bags and sell it to you and I and your mom and dad for a premium every single time. Right here, $3.3 trillion mutual fund giant Fidelity. Their custody business around Bitcoin has been incredibly successful. They smell the money, they see the opportunity at hand, and this is happening in front of our eyes. Next, Bitfinex once again adds XRP, Litecoin, EOS, and Polkadot. Polkadot is another asset I own. I really like it. I'm very interested in it, not necessarily as an Ethereum killer, but definitely as an Ethereum alternative. And I'd be foolish to turn my back on this type of innovation. All right, so keep an eye on this. Of course, Bitfinex, I sometimes like to use their charts a good amount just for liquidity purposes. They're very interesting on TradingView, to say the least. All right. Now, last but not least, guys, Italian Banca Generali to debut crypto services next year. I think 2021 is going to be a year to remember. And to be honest, there's 2 scenarios in my mind. Both end in the moon scenario for cryptocurrency. Option 1 is I'm an idiot and I was wrong about the drop coming, and crypto moons and it starts now. It really does. And Bitcoin starts going. Option 2, which is still my belief, and I mean, I'm happy to be wrong because I hold a bunch of crypto, is there's a little more manipulation for these, next few weeks, maybe next couple months, for these 6 to 8 weeks, and everybody buys the dip, and then it is showtime. So option 2, wait a little longer than I want, but so be it. 2021, we see all these crypto banks, digital banks, fintech partnership licenses, banking charters. You can't make this up. If you are bearish on crypto long term, I don't know what to tell you. This space is going to explode with or without us, and I'm so excited to witness all of this. All right? And just remember, we were here first. We were here at the beginning of something that arguably is going to be 10 times bigger than what the dot-com bubble was. And for those of you that watch this channel, you've lived through the dot-com bubble. I talk to a lot of you on the phone, and you guys tell me, man, I was here, I sold businesses in the 90s, I'm not missing this. You get it. And I mean, a lot of young people probably don't even understand how big this is going to be and what we really hold, because they're looking at price and it drops 10 cents in a day and they freak out. myopic. That's very narrow-sighted, short-sighted view for what is coming, guys. I'm not trying to hype you up, but somebody obviously does, because this market is going to go bananas in due time. And once it starts, I don't really think it's going to stop. And that is referring to utility at scale. For now, yeah, speculation, Bitcoin, it's all pulling the market everywhere. What I'm saying is there will be higher highs eventually starting in this market. Okay, and last but not least, guys, be sure to check the links in the video description. I have the official rules linked down below. You can set up a variety of wallets. I personally use Trust Wallet mostly. Sometimes I do use Atomic Wallet as well, or some of you may just use the Coinbase wallet. So for example, trustwallet.com, it's a mobile app, super simple to use. You also have atomicwallet.io. Cool thing about this one is you actually have staking as well, and notice we have Algorand available right here. So 24 hours from uploading this video, I will be announcing, or we will be picking the winners at random, and I will announce the 3 winners tomorrow. I'm guessing sometime afternoon. So appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.